Our next two examples deal with monthly loan payments. The one looks at calculating when you make a monthly payment, how much of your payment is applied to principal versus how much is paying off interest accrued during that month. So what we're going to look at calculating first is the amount applied to the principal. And that's going to be equal to lowercase p, which we want to make sure we're distinguishing between lowercase p and capital P. Capital P is that principal amount of the loan. So lowercase p represents how much we're paying, and what we have to do is subtract out of that the interest that was accrued during the last period. So in this case, simple interest again applies, so that's P times R times T. So that simple interest formula keeps popping up as we're tackling these simple interest problems. And we can construct this function again in Desmos to help us evaluate that. We'll call this A, but we could use whatever letter we want. And the variables here will be lowercase p, capital P, R, and T. Again, the difference between lowercase and capital P matters quite a bit here because Desmos will substitute those values based off whether that letter is lowercase or capitalized. Our formula is lowercase p, the amount that we're paying that month, minus the interest accrued during that period. And then in example 11, we're given some specific values. We're told that the amount that we're paying, lowercase p, is $325. The original amount of the loan at the beginning of that period was $1,733. Our interest rate is 0.1075. And the number of days that we are into the loan period or since our last payment is 30, but this formula is based off years. So we need to convert that to be over 365. So what that tells us is that we're making a $325 payment because of the interest accrued. $309.69 are being applied to the principal. And the rest of that payment is going to pay off the interest that was accrued during that period. The other thing that we can look at then calculating would be how much is left on our loan to pay off. So that would be taking the starting principal, which is $1,733, minus the amount that we're actually paying off. Or $1,423.31. Again, what happened in this problem is we paid $325. A little over $309 of that went towards paying down the principal, while the rest took care of the interest that was accrued since our last payment. And we calculated the amount remaining on the principal, which is what we'll be paying down and paying the interest again with the next payment. In example 12, we're going to look at using a different formula, which is provided for us here, more complicated formula for sure, to calculate the monthly payment for a loan given some specific parameters. Flipping back to Desmos, we'll set that up as A of PRT. And actually, I already have a function named A, so I'm going to delete that work that we already did so that Desmos doesn't get confused. And this is going to be equal to capital P times, I'm going to go ahead and put in that fraction, R times 1 plus R to the T power over 1 plus R to the T power minus 1. So this formula that we've just been given establishes what the monthly payment would be for a loan with specific parameters. So we'll plug in those parameters. In this case, the principal amount, the total amount of the loan, would be $12,850. The interest rate would be 0.085, and the length of the loan will be 10 years. That would give us a monthly payment of $1,958.44.